What is going on, YouTube, and welcome back to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. And should the Colts draft Desmond Ridder? They just signed Matt Ryan, and he's expected to be a solid quarterback for a year or two at the most. So Matt Ryan getting older, so at 37 years old, 36, 37. So the Colts still need to prepare for the future for when Matt Ryan does leave the Colts, when he retires, or he ultimately goes somewhere else to play back for a year or two. So Desmond Ridder visited the Colts a few days ago, and Ridder has a lot of talent. He is expected to go high for a reason. He's expected to go in the second round. His upside is through the roof. He's through the roof. His accuracy is decent now, and his arm talent is decent, pretty damn good. He's smart. He improves every year, but thing is he does need to work on mechanics. He does need to work on keeping those mechanics consistent. So if you enjoy Colts content, NFL content, make sure you like, subscribe, put that post notification bell on so you miss any future videos, and let's get into the PFF side of things. So we're going to go through some of what PFF is saying about Desmond Ridder and go off of that because, PFF, they're really smart dudes. They got a lot of really smart guys over there getting it done. So we're going to go through what they're saying. So Ridder's 4 years at the helm of the Bearcats offense make him one of the most experienced passers in the class. That's also very important. Having a quarterback come in that's very experienced, having seen a lot. Because you come to the NFL and that's not gonna be much of an issue. Trying to read defenses. Now you're still gonna have to learn because things absolutely change. But Desmond Ridder is a very solid talent and he's very smart. And as it says right there, he improves every year. Every year. That's a big thing. When you see a quarterback improving every year, it shows that their upside is through the roof. It shows that they get better, that they're not, scared to work hard and get it done. So their bottom line is Ridder is the most NFL ready quarterback in the class and still has areas for growth. In a class full of developmental QBs, he has the work ethic to bet on. Exactly what I just said. He works hard. He works hard every year. And he's 6'3". That's not crazy short. And don't forget, he can also run it a little bit. He's not slow. He has some wheels. So then you come over to the analysis where he wins. Processing speed. Ridder is a decisive and quick pocket passer who has good enough arm talent to hit defenses over the top while he's not much of a runner himself. His speed demands that he's accounted for. So basically saying he knows, when to run. And he could run a little bit. Now, is he going to be a game changer with the run? No. I did say he had some wheels, but not not very fast. But he still gets it done enough where you have to account for it. And coming out a fast processor, a pocket passer, that's key. That's pretty damn key. That's pretty good. Big time. Usually translates really well. What's his role? Quick passer. Ridder isn't scheme limited by any means. He can step in day one and not look out of place as a starter. Utilizing his legs as a weapon is a plus, but isn't necessary for him to exceed the next level. So he doesn't need the legs. A lot of these quarterbacks, scramble a lot and they like to run a lot, but he doesn't need it as much as they do. Not necessarily they need it. We have some very smart quarterbacks that can process the field and run. Mahomes, Allen, two examples. Then, what can he improve? Ball placement. Ridder's ball placement is still below average by NFL standards and often is even worse early in games. He's too refined technically for this to dramatically change. So, this is a downfall. He's too where he is and where he's playing. His mechanics aren't going to change much. And if he can't get the ball right there where it needs to be, these receivers are going to have to make the circus catches. As I was watching the pro day, I saw many times where when he threw a deep ball, that deep ball was more on the inside rather than the outside over the shoulder. And that makes it a lot easier for safeties and corners or whoever it is coming at the ball to make a play on the ball. So that's something you got to watch out. That's something that needs to be, really taken into consideration because, if he's already set in stone with the mechanics he's using now, even though, you could change him, but there's only so much you could change of a player. It's something that you really got to take into consideration when drafting him. So he's a quick processor, best in the class, ready, plays at NFL speed mentally. That's what you want. That's great. Straight line gas in open field, big play threat as a runner if unaccounted for. So, if they don't pay attention to him, if they don't see him as a threat, if they don't at least try to watch and limit him and spy him, he's going to run. He's going to run. Coaches rave about his work ethic and leadership. Has improved weaknesses every year. It shows that he's willing to work hard, that he's willing to change and get better and improve, which is vital to becoming a good NFL quarterback, a quality starter. Cons: slightly elongated throwing motion, little dip in cocking phase. So means it's a little longer of a throwing motion, and it's just not what the NFL is looking for in the throwing motion, but it doesn't mean it's, bad. Thin frame, not as elusive as other, which has led to high sack conversion rates. So he does struggle to break sacks, to get out of sacks, and, that's big time, especially for how fast the defensive linemen get, for how fast, edge rushers are, for how fast and athletic they are, and strong. Something you really got to watch out for. And this is the big one. He beat up bad competition, 70.6 passing grade against Power 5 schools last 2 years. So, the better the competition, the faster, the stronger their opponent. He struggled. Even though he wasn't absolutely terrible against Notre Dame last year. He played them last year. He was okay. Not the greatest. But coming from a smaller school, it's a whole different ballgame when you come to the NFL. But you're also going to have better players around you. So that's another thing you take into consideration when you're talking that argument. So, position traits. His arm strength is 6 out of 10. As I was talking about before, when he was throwing those deep balls, he was more so hanging them inside rather than, getting it over the shoulder towards outside. You don't want that. Safeties, fast safeties are going to come in and make a play on the ball if you do that. Accuracy, 5 out of 10. Accuracy could be a little better. The mechanics are inconsistent at times, and the mechanics do have to be worked on. Mobility, 7 out of 10. So he could run a little bit. As we already talked about, he's not very elusive, but if he's unaccounted for, they don't spy him, they don't give him any respect in the run game, Ridder's going to take off and get some yards. Decision making, 7 out of 10. His decision making is solid, very good, and that's one of the big things when a young quarterback's coming out. If the decision making is solid, usually you could really build off that. But Desmond Ridder visited the Colts the other day. Would you be willing to draft Desmond Ridder? Would you like to draft him at 42? Let him sit behind Matt Ryan for a year or two, and then bring him in when Matt Ryan leaves. Or what if Matt Ryan only stays 1 year? Or I don't think he's gonna stay for 1 year though. I see Matt Ryan being here to at least 2 years. And then what's next? Do we draft a quarterback next year instead, where the quarterback class is much better? Much better. It's much. This year's class just isn't very good. A lot of quarterbacks that need to be developed. A lot of quarterbacks are raw. Some are ready, some are not. Just not as good as next year. Nowhere near as good as next year. So you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, put that post notification bell